Hi, everyone. My name is Kimberly BuenoSchonig, and I'm the CEO and founder of BuenoSchonig Consulting. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you are new here, please be sure to give us a follow, like, and subscribe on all our social media platforms for business and or career content. So let's go ahead and get started. We are sharing 6 tips to help you ace your online interview. First tip is research the company and the team. So what does this really mean and why? It just means to actually literally read the company, read about the company, learn about what they do, read their mission, see if you can do some research on who will potentially be on your team, and what the whole organization is about. Because a common question is, do you know about the company? And it'd be great if you can answer that pretty well and actually understand what the goal and mission is for the company that you're applying to. A lot of companies want to hire someone who knows first, who can show that they've done research on the company, but also just knows a little bit about the company and what they're trying to achieve, right? So it's always just good to make sure you do research on the company so you can actually speak to what it is that they do. Second thing is prep your mindset, right? This is super critical for your interview because whether or not this is online or in person, just in general, prepping your mindset can help you ensure that when you're speaking about your skill set, your experience, what you can offer, you are actually speaking confidently and coherently because the other person can receive it in that way and also feel confident in you and what you're saying. If you're approaching your interview from more of like a non-confident, very nervous, maybe you are experiencing self-doubt, which are all completely normal. But when you approach it from that perspective, you're less likely to actually make the person believe in you and make the person also believe in your skills, your skill set, and what you can bring to the table. It's very normal to be nervous, and oftentimes hiring managers understand that it can be a very nerve-wracking process, but the problem is that you only have a limited amount of time with this hiring manager, and this is or a recruiter, and this is the moment for you to shine. So just prep yourself, even if it means like looking at yourself in the mirror and telling yourself, you got this, you got this, you got this, and that makes you believe in yourself. Do that. It's super important to enter the interview with a very confident mindset, so that way both parties can have a very good experience and also believe in what you can do. Third tip is practice answering questions. Now, this is something that I do offer with my consulting firm if you're interested. I call them mock interview sessions, and you can do this at home yourself just by asking yourself specific questions that you think is going to come up in the interview and answering them out loud. The reason why this is so important is because you can practice what points to bring up and actually even practice saying it out loud, because believe it or not, when you're put in a position like an interview, there's some pressure that's added to that specific type of situation. And sometimes the energy or your emotions can cause some friction in actually delivering answers. But what can help you alleviate that pressure or even just combat it is by practicing answering questions on your own time before the interview. So, being able to come up with potential questions and coming up with answers can also be helpful in coming up with answers that you might not necessarily be able to answer right away if you were just asked on the spot. So even if it means just like coming up with basic questions or looking up online questions, common interview questions, and answering those questions out loud to yourself can truly help. Fourth tip is wear professional attire. Believe it or not, I've heard tons of hiring managers and recruiters complain about how people are not showing up in professional attire. Don't be one of those candidates. If you can, please dress up as professional as possible. Even even if it's online, right? Pretend you're going into office and you're going on site, and dress as if you are going on site and show that you're putting effort, because when you dress in professional attire, not only does it show that you respect the time, you respect the interview, you respect the meeting, but it shows that you respect the person that is taking the time to meet with you, and it's just a good look overall. And even if the hiring manager says, "Oh, you don't have to wear super fancy clothes," that is much better to say, as feedback, versus the hiring manager looking at you in your pajamas and uncombed hair, and them just not saying anything at all, but in their mind they're thinking like, "Oh my gosh, this is just super unprofessional." So always wear professional attire. It's going to hurt you. I'm sorry, it's going to not hurt you, if anything, which is better than wearing pajamas and that hurting you. All right, our fifth tip is test your technology. Oh my goodness, with everyone online, it is so important that you have the basic skill set to have a working webcam and a working mic. If you already have a built-in webcam and mic, woo, good for you. The only thing you want to make sure is that it actually works, and you know how to turn on your webcam, you know how to turn on your microphone, and you know how to navigate those systems when it comes to the virtual interview. And the reason for this is because you want to make sure your interview goes as smoothly as possible. Like I said before, you only have a limited amount of time with this person that's interviewing you, so you want to make sure you take advantage of every single minute, every single second, and you don't want having difficulty with your technology be the reason why that's cut short. Because sometimes what ends up happening, depending upon the hiring manager, if you're having technical difficulties, they might not even reschedule the interview, or they'll say they'll reschedule but then just move forward. You have to keep in mind that just making sure your technology works is just kind of like the baseline you want to make sure you achieve when it comes to having an online interview. Trust me, there are definitely some managers that are completely understanding, and those are the ones that are amazing. But there are some that just like either don't have enough time to, take the time to reschedule, or maybe they're on a time crunch. You never know what their situation is. So it's always just good to make sure you test your technology. And my last sixth tip is hop on 5 minutes prior. This is something that I've always done and I always recommend to clients, is just hopping on the interview and clicking the link 5 minutes prior to your actual interview time. And the reason for this is because if you are not early, you are not on time. I'm a huge advocate for showing up early to things, especially if it's interviews or anything related to business or career, because you want to show that you are taking initiative, you've planned ahead, you are trying to ensure that everything goes smoothly, and you're being prepared for the moment, right? And when you are hopping online, depending upon the type of system the interviewer is using, sometimes you'll get notifications that you've been added to that meeting, and that's an additional notification to the hiring manager or recruiter saying, hey, you've taken the time to hop on early and you're prepping for this interview and you are ready to go, which helps build this impression that you are already a great candidate because you're there, you're showing up on time, your technology works, etc., etc. So with that being said, that's all I have for you today to help you ace your interview. So I hope you enjoyed all the content. For more business or career related content, be sure to follow us and subscribe on all of our social media platforms. Every Tuesday and Thursday, we are providing you with business and career content. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.